Hey guys, David Risley here with davidrisley.com, and today we're going to be doing something really interesting. Typically, I'm the one doing blog evaluations of other people inside the inner circle and things like that. Today, the tides have been turned, and I've got Derek Halpern on the call today, and he's going to be doing a blog evaluation of davidrisley.com. Derek shows people how to turn web traffic into leads and sales, and of course, if you're not getting traffic, he shows you how to get that too. So, how you doing, Derek?
Hey, what's up, David? Thanks for having me on your blog today.
Not a problem. I'm actually looking forward to getting to having those tides turned because I haven't had anybody actually look at it from a different perspective in quite some time, especially since I've had the site redesigned.
Yeah, I have to say, I love this new redesign. It's very, very clean. It's very focused on what your topic is all about, but you're also there's some opportunities for improvement. And a lot of the things that I see that you can improve, I think most of your readers will also have similar improvement opportunities. So I think people should pay close attention to what we're talking about today, because not only are we helping David Risley today and his site and what I think could happen on his site to improve conversion rates, but these things can also help you improve your conversion rates on your site.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Great. So let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So let me just ask you a quick question. Where does most of your traffic hit? Does it hit your home page or your single post pages?
Most of them come directly into single post.
Yeah, all right. So that's what I was thinking. Most blogs have most of their traffic hit their single post pages. And what ends up happening is once they hit that page, they decide to either read your content completely, leave your site, or go to a different page of your site.
Right.
Now, in your particular case, chances are they're either going to go to your home page, your about page, or potentially your inner circle or sign up for your email list.
Right.
But overall, if they hit that single post page, they're going to be clicking somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way you have your homepage set up, because if all the traffic hits that single post page, they click your homepage, you have a call to action as soon as people visit your homepage. Mm-hmm. That's huge. I've been using one of those big opt-in boxes like you have on your site on Social Triggers, and it's been one of the highest converting forms I've ever tested, and it's actually worked better than the pop-up form on my site for some reason. So I think it's great that you're using that particular top box, and I call it the feature box. And if people aren't using that feature box, you should be using it on your site.
Yeah, the one thing I like about it too is a lot of people are using the same pop-up plugin, which is Pop-Up Domination, which is a great plugin. The thing is, I think so many people are using it that you start to get a little bit more dismissive.
Exactly. It's starting to blend in. It was like with the Hello Bar earlier this year.
Yeah.
When it first burst on the scene, it was a great way to get emails, but then people became blind to it because everyone started using it.
Mm-hmm.
So the feature box right now is a really good way to stand out from everyone else. You're doing that right. But let's talk about some of the opportunities that I see. Right in your top navigation bar, you have something called top categories.
Right.
I think that is a really, really good idea, because as you probably have heard, I'm a really big proponent of what I call resource pages, which are links to pages about a specific topic from the top part of your navigation area. Instead of just linking to normal navigation items like home, about, products, videos, rent me, etc., I like to link to top, category specific pages like blogging that you have.
Yeah.
And then on those particular resource pages, I like those pages to follow a specific format, which is where you have a headline, some introductory content, an opt-in form, and then a link to like 10 or 15 articles about that specific topic.
Right.
So I'm looking at your blogging category right now, and it appears to just be a blogging category. I think your big benefit here would be adding some custom content above your category, your category posts.
Yeah.
And then right before you dive into those posts, put an opt-in form. And if you want to take this one step further, I would suggest only having a list of maybe 5 to 10 links. And I think having all your categories, like all your blogging posts there works, but it might lead to, paralysis by analysis, where there's just too many options.
Yeah.
So You want to give a few options, get there, only show off your best stuff about the topic, and then have an opt-in form, and hopefully they'll see your best stuff and they'll opt in instead of reading it all right away.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm actually working on something like that. I was getting ready to call them guides, whereas you're calling them resource pages. But the really good thing is what you're saying about limiting it to only about 10 posts, because I was going in there. I think some of the guides that I'm working on had like over 20 of them, which again you're going to run into that paralysis problem.
Exactly.
And the other thing that I was doing is writing up some custom content for each of those pages that it's actually is kind of a tutorial.
Cool. I think the custom content is a really big key, and not only does it help you convert emails, it actually tends to rank really well in search engines.
Yeah.
Now, I've been preaching about these resource pages for a few weeks now when I talked to Chris Brogan and Pat Flynn and all these other big name bloggers who did site reviews with me. But the one thing I haven't told anyone yet is the right way to release these resource pages into your audience.
So this will be of interest to me because I'm getting ready to do this.
All right, so I was just testing this on Social Triggers, and it's working really, really well for email gathering, and I'll tell you what I did. Instead of releasing all the resource pages at once and announcing, all right, I just finished this, I finished these 5 resource guides, go check them out. You actually announce them one at a time, and you make a big deal about it. You say, hey, look, I just whipped together this guide about this. Why don't you click over and check it out on the site? And if you like it, please do me a favor and tweet it to your followers. I did this when I launched a Building an Email List 101 tutorial series on my site, and it got something like 100-something retweets, and it netted me a little over 150 extra emails to my list.
Nice.
Just by emailing my list out and saying, hey, I put together this resource page, and then I got viral opt-ins for free, basically. So when you release these resource pages, you don't want to just release them. You want to make a big deal about each release. You want to write a blog post about one resource page, tell people what it's all about, and then get people to click from your blog to your resource page. This is beneficial for a few reasons. Now, a lot of people will think that, why don't I just make this resource page a blog post and link to this blog post in my header? And you can do that, but I suggest you create the resource page as a page and then write a blog post about it separately, because as you all know, we're all getting scraped by scraper blogs all over the world right now. That's like part of being a blogger. When you write a blog post announcing your page and then link to your page, you're going to have all those scraper blogs linking to your resource pages also.
True.
So now you're going to be linking to your resource page, and you're going to get a lot of extra one-way links to your resource page, helping that page rank a little bit higher. Mind you, they're low-quality links, but you're not doing anything to game the system or anything like that. You're just going to be getting a few extra links that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
That's true.
So that's the way I would launch them, is launch each resource page one at a time, write a blog post about it, link to it, and encourage people to tweet it. Now, the other thing that I was noticing is you have a different sidebar on your homepage compared to your category pages and your single post pages. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much the whole site except for the homepage has the same sidebar, and the homepage is different.
All right, cool. I was just taking a look at how that all works. I'm kind of doing this all on the fly, everyone, so bear with me for a second. Are all those reports and guides in your My Reports and Guides on your homepage, are those all linking to opt-in pages that build your email list?
Yeah, they're going to squeeze pages.
All right, cool. Now, that's another really great strategy. On your content pages, I mean, you're going to notice a big problem. Content pages are great for just that, giving content, but it's horrible at converting readers into subscribers and customers. It's just bad at it. People are there reading the content and clicking to more content, and on the off chance they sometimes subscribe to your site by accident. So what I suggest you should do is, in your sidebar, you currently have About Dave at the top, which I think is a really great way to build your personal brand, and since it's davidrisley.com, I think people might expect that. You also have to download the Blueprint 2.0. But right below that, instead of showing popular posts right away, you can create links to those product pages, those My Guides and Products, and make those like guides also, right? Instead of just linking to, resource guides in your navigation bar, you could link to these other guides in your sidebar. And the reason why I suggest you put that above popular posts is because when people read your content, they're looking for what they can do next, right?
Yeah.
And I tend to, on my site, for Social Triggers, for example, if you go to my site and you look in the sidebar, you'll see that I always link to squeeze pages all over the place. So I show you the content, I interlink my content, but if you ever want to click outside my content from a link in my sidebar, I have popular posts there, yes, but a lot of my sidebar links link to squeeze pages. And the reason why I do that is because if you get people to read an article, they already like you and they like what you stand for because they read a whole article from you. So they're going to take an action and click on one of your links in the sidebar. That's a form of commitment. You're familiar with Robert Cialdini, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you know how consistency works. People like to remain consistent with their previous behaviors. They read your content. They like your content. They see a link. They choose to click that link. They're no longer a cold traffic source. They're a warm traffic source. So it's okay to try and be a little bit more aggressive with that warm traffic source compared to the cold traffic source. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So basically, what I have on the home page, you would suggest just putting that into the main sidebar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I would be careful of is your reports and guides look very, very similar to those 125 by 125 advertisements.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me.
Yeah, so when people see that, they might think they're ads. They're not ads. They're your stuff. So what I'm currently doing is I'm using a bigger link. Like I'm using like an image that's like 265 pixels wide by 100 and somewhat pixels in height. The reason why I chose that is because it looks so unlike any of the other ads that currently exist in the blog world. And I think that you don't want your guides, which are valuable resources, to be lumped in with just regular ads. You want to make sure it pops out.
That's true, yeah. Especially for new arrivals, because one thing about my site is I don't have any banner ads on there, but the thing is a new reader would not realize that. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think you got to really make sure you differentiate that from just a regular ad, and maybe mix it up between text and images so people realize you're not just trying to sell them stuff, you're trying to help them.
Cool.
All right, cool. Let me take a look now. I really, really like that hand-drawn like this post care to share thing at the bottom of your post.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is really, really awesome. Are you finding that works really well?
Yeah, I mean, my only metric on it is really the number of retweets, and I have been getting a little bit more since I launched this design. It was I kind of cheated when I made it. I basically used Optimized Press, and it has a way of doing a call to action like that, so I did it, and then I screenshot it and brought it over here.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right, cool. All right, so let me just quickly go over that for people in your audience that may not realize. But again, when people read a full article, they're always, when they finish that article, they're looking for what they can do next. I said that earlier. Having a tweet button like you currently have is great, and having an opt-in form like you currently have is great because, like I said, they read your full article, they're feeling good about you and your content. Asking for them to tweet your stuff or subscribe to your stuff right then and there is the perfect time to do it because you have people at the peak of their enjoyment of your site. So that's a really great thing. The one thing I would consider doing is cutting your related posts because that might get people clicking to more content, but it might diminish your opt-in to your emails.
True, yeah. Because that opt-in form, I was going to be doing some split testing on it because it hasn't been performing as well as I thought it would. So that's an interesting point.
Yeah, so the way the opt-in form currently works is it's not going to perform that well because you have the Twitter stuff above it. If you want to put the opt-in form above the Twitter, it might convert a little bit better. Overall, that opt-in form at the bottom of the post won't have a high conversion rate, but the people who do convert are people who really like what you're about because they read your content. Most people never even make it to the end of the post, as you probably know.
Yeah, a lot of people scan.
Exactly. So you want to really, I would raise that above the share button, personally, and consider implementing those buttons that come to the side of your content Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forgot the name of the plugin, but yeah, I'll have to try it. You know, the version I tried before, I had a conflict with another plugin, and that's why I had to take it off. But
Okay, so I'm not. I think you could hard code it. I know on my side it's hard coded. I'm not using a plugin,
oh, cool.
and I'm using absolute CSS positioning
Right.
to link to the headline area or something like that. But I think you could hard code it in a lot of themes.
Good call.
You might want to take a look at that.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about resource pages. We talked about making sure you're linking to your guides so they don't look like advertisements. We also talked about the best places to ask for action, which is at the bottom of the post. Another really big opportunity for you is where you currently have top categories. I don't think you should call it categories. I think that's it's a little jargon-esque, you know? That's jargon to bloggers.
Mm-hmm.
And while we all kind of know what categories are, what are top categories really? They're really your popular topics that you write about. Am I right?
Yeah.
I think you should check popular topics versus top categories, and I think you'll find that popular topics gets a little more click play than top categories. And I had that experience a few years ago when I was running an entertainment site where I was running, you know, my entertainment site usually commented on celebrities, for example, and I would have, you know, top categories, and then I had celebrity names, and people never clicked on it. But then I put popular celebrities, and the click-through on that went up by like 5 times.
Nice.
So you might want to just experiment with popular topics.
Yeah, well, you know, my original plan there, like to get your comment on it, is those guides that we were talking about earlier. My intention was to replace those categories with the guides as I released them.
Okay, I think the guides there would be a great addition. The one thing I would be concerned about is your navigation bar pulls a ton of attention to your inner circle.
That's the point.
Yeah, so I think that's great, and I think maybe that should be the overall goal of your navigation is to get people to the inner circle page.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And I think adding the resource guides so high in the space there might diminish the clicks to inner circle. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying test.
Yeah,
if you really want people to go to inner circle, I think you should send people to inner circle and then maybe promote the resource guides in a different way. My current way that I promote my guides are in the sidebar. But I think where you're currently putting that could be a good spot for them too. I think you should just experiment with where you put them and based on how many people click over to inner circle.
Right. Okay.
Now, let's talk about selling stuff for a second. Everyone who's running a website right now is trying to sell stuff because that's how you make money. Mm-hmm. You don't want to just create resource pages about just anything. You want to create resource pages that directly link to what you're selling.
True.
So what I do is every time you create that resource page, you have a specific topic that it's all about. You create a specialized opt-in form in either Aweber or MailChimp, and then you tag each subscriber with a custom ad tracking so you know that subscriber got onto your list by going to that specific page. If you really want to get crazy, you can actually create separate lists in Aweber where all these people who sign up to those individual pages sign up to a separate list, and then you could automate them into your main list. And what ends up happening is you build a subscriber list of highly targeted people. That way, when you're pitching people, you know where to pitch people and what to pitch them. And you could actually be a little bit more aggressive to people that you have targeted emails for because you know what they're interested in.
That's true, yeah. I put an autoresponder sequence on there.
Exactly. That's what the next step is, putting that custom sequence where, let's say you have, what exactly is the inner circle all about? That's just about building an online business, am I right?
Kind of. It's basically a way for them to get in on a group with me as well as the other members, and we kind of have a virtual mastermind thing going on there, and there's Q&A and opportunities to hop on the phone with me and things like that.
All right, so I mean that sounds like a great program, and I think a resource page targeted towards, you know, you could create that resource page like a typical product launch where you give up 4 or 5 pieces of content to get people to opt in, like right in the bottom. Then after they opt in, you have a sequence of maybe 3 pieces of content that they get, and then the 4th piece is a pitch for Inner Circle. And you end up building Inner Circle pitches into all of your resource page autoresponder sequences in a custom way that makes sense, targeted to the person who's subscribing to a topic they're interested in.
Yeah, that's great. It's almost like treating it like an evergreen launch for the list.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
and then you could start rolling them into your main list so they start getting all your stuff, but you create them first, on that segmented list, get that custom autoresponder, they automate into your main list, then they're like the rest of the subscribers once they kind of get up to speed as the rest of your subscribers.
Right, cool.
All right, awesome. Now, let me take a look here. I've been experimenting with including opt-in forms in the footer of my site.
Right.
And I'm noticing that it's converting pretty well for a footer link. And I have just in my site, for example, I just have, get free updates, just like a similar opt-in form to what I have in my sidebar. Mm-hmm. And it's not converting super high, but it's snagging enough emails that I want to keep it there.
Right.
And I think that kind of goes in the same vein of when people are done reading your content, they look for what they could do next. Now, if your site gets a ton of comments on your site, so chances are if they're reading all of your content, they're also going to read some of your comments. By the time they get to the bottom of the comments, you're going to hit them again with another opt-in form right at the footer.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is why I think that works. So I think you might want to think about adding one of those there.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, I used to have one, and then this new design, it's not there anymore. So I guess I need to put it back.
Yeah. I'm noticing you're linking your RSS feed right from your header. How do you feel about that?
I haven't even tested to see how many people are clicking on that, because I know a lot of people don't know how to use RSS, but my consideration was that I'm speaking mainly to bloggers, so I would assume that a lot more of them would know what that is.
Yeah. I mean, how are you finding your RSS subscribers? Are they pretty responsive, or you're not really too sure?
I'm not really too sure. I get by far the most response from my email list.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it was working for me too. I actually, even though I have a custom RSS feed on Social Triggers, I actually don't promote it anywhere on the site. Mm-hmm. My thinking is if they're an RSS reader, they know enough to type davidrisley.com into Google Reader to grab the RSS feed. So I almost never link my RSS feed. But I mean, like I said, I'm a little more aggressive, I think, than you might be. I only want emails, and I'd rather not have an RSS reader than an email, if that makes any sense. But
yeah, well, there's one way I could do it is send that, because the 1480 thing that's there right now, obviously that's a bit of a social proof play. Yeah. And I could consider linking that maybe into a squeeze page just for the updates on the site.
Yeah, I think that might be a good idea to just experiment with, for sure. Mm-hmm. Also, for people who are using RSS and you truly believe in RSS, are using Google Analytics?
Yeah.
FeedBurner attaches a custom URL string to all your links that go out in FeedBurner.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so you can actually set up some Google Analytics custom reports and actually see how many people are clicking from your RSS feed to other posts, like your interlinking, for example. Mm-hmm. You could actually track that and see if you're getting clicks or not.
That's good, yeah, because even though I know that data's there, I do not have that report set up.
It's actually, I mean, I wouldn't be able to walk you through it on this, but it's not that hard to set up. I mean, you could literally just go create a custom report, and then it's a Google basically handholds you the whole time while you create it. So it's
cool, yeah.
It's pretty easy. All right, and then the last thing that I wanted to mention is you're linking all of your social media profiles. Mm-hmm. And I think you're linking them twice. You link Twitter twice, and you link the RSS twice.
True.
With those little buttons. I wouldn't link those twice.
Okay.
I would just try to link them once, because are those no-follow, those links at the top?
I don't even know. Being that I just found a form that was ID'd wrong from AWeber, there's probably little things in here like that I got to fix.
Yeah. I would definitely no-follow those top links so you're not sending out all that juice right at the top of your page to your social media profiles.
It looks like they're not no-follow right now, so I'll have to do that.
Yeah, I would definitely no-follow them. And I wouldn't link your RSS feed twice or your Twitter feed twice. I would just link them once.
Right, cool.
But overall, man, I think this is a great design. You have home about... Actually, let me take a look at your About page real quick. Oh, your About page is perfect, man. Perfect.
Nice.
I've been telling people about the About page and how to implement email sign-up forms after every section of the About page. And you have that, and you even go one step farther by adding all those images, and at the bottom of the images you have a sign-up form also. And I think that's great because people, as you know, captions are one of the most well-read pieces of content on a site. Mm-hmm. And instead of having just such a long image like you have, you might want to break that image up in half and maybe put, maybe not. Just, I think the image is great.
Yeah, the idea behind that, it's more like an abbreviated about that's visual, and obviously everybody's eyes tend to gravitate toward images.
Yeah, you know what? I think that image is perfect. I'm not going to complain about anything.
Nice score.
Yeah,
well, I'll admit that the having the opt-ins in the middle of the content there, because I've got it under the two sections. I got that from you talking to Pat Flynn about a month or so ago. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't have that there before that one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those opt-ins in the middle of the about page are great. I mean, it generates probably 20% of my emails.
Cool. Yeah, my about page I think is one of the top ranked pages on the whole site.
Nice. All right, and now let me take one more look. I'm just looking around your video page. Is your video page one of your more well-visited pages?
I haven't looked at it recently. I would imagine it is, but I'm going based on my gut there.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is too, based on gut. I would get an opt-in form on that page too.
Yeah, interesting. I don't have one there.
Yeah, get an opt-in page there. And also consider when you link in your home page and when you start linking to your resource pages, make sure that those pages don't have sidebar distractions. Because remember, people are showing some sort of commitment to learn about blogging when they click that. And you don't want your sidebar shown on that page. You want everything about blogging, and then everything on that page will be opt-ins for blogging. You don't want to distract them from what they showed they were interested in.
Yeah, well, here's my plan. I'll run it by you. My plan was that on those resource pages, I was going to have a sidebar, but not like the one you usually see. It's going to be more like the one on my Rent Me page, but it's going to list related products. So let's say I've got a guide on membership sites. I would link to things like Wishlist Member or something like that with affiliate links, obviously.
Yeah. So you could turn it into a money-making page, and I think you should test that. But I would almost suggest you focus on getting the email and then doing the affiliate play in the autoresponder sequence.
Okay.
I think that might convert a little bit better, and it might test it. I mean, that's the end of the day. You have to see what works.
Cool.
All right. I mean, I think that's pretty much it, man. This was a great little site review.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. It gives me some things to look into. I'll have to go back and listen to this video again in order to take those notes on it.
Yeah, cool. All right, so it was thanks for having me. Do you have any questions that you wanted to run by me, perchance?
I don't think so as of now. I mean, some of the stuff I'm working on privately behind the scenes right now. I mean, like if you go down to my footer, it says guides coming soon. So I'm kind of working on this stuff right now. I just got to get them finished, and then maybe I'll hit you up once those things are out there.
Cool.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Hey, thanks for having me, and I hope your readers find this pretty useful.
Cool,
I know people were loving it on Pat Flynn's site. They loved it on Corbett's site. Chris Brogan's readers loved it. I mean, people are really liking these site reviews, so I'm hoping that your readers find it just as helpful.
Great, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
All right.